What's going on, guys? Spud here, and welcome to episode 39 of the Roundup. In today's episode, absolute drama between Boston Breach and Toronto Ultras. Toronto forfeit map 3 and therefore lose the series 3-0. We're going to be looking in a lot into that. OpTic have a brilliant start and go 2-0 in this Major 3 bracket, beating two teams that they are fighting with to make champs. And we'll just go through all the other games. LA Thieves slammed Vancouver Surge, FaZe lost to Ultra, and Rocker had two Game 5 round 11s to start off their Major 3 bracket. We'll also be doing our predictions for next week's matches, as always, doing our MVP ladder, and looking at the CDL Standings. We're also going to be doing a slight bit of Counter-Strike, just as there is massive news regarding probably my favourite player on G2, Monesy, as it looks like he is going to the Falcons. And also, of course, Vegas Falcons won 2 hard points in one series, but did not win the series. If you are new, though, please do drop a subscription to the channel. It's free. It really helps me out. And like the video if you enjoy. And yeah, let's just get straight into it. Why not? So, we start here, and it was the new look Vegas Falcons roster as they take on Vancouver Surge. And this was a 3-0, very easy win for Vancouver Surge. If we look at statistics here, everyone played pretty well on that side of Vancouver Surge. On the other side, Xnid played well. You know, people were saying, oh, is Xnid going to look out of his depth now? Across both series, he was the best player for Vegas Falcons. This guy deserves to be in the league, for definite. The AR duo, though, on this team was absolutely horrendous this series. RCTs, this is probably his last chance to get back in the league, and he drops a 0.5. Priester drops a 0.6. Pred and Xnid did okay, especially Xnid, he was fine. But yeah, Nasty got MVP here with a 1.53. KD with the most damage as well in the lobby. And yeah, this was a very, very easy series. There was no fight really at all from the Vegas Falcons as they go 0-19 after this one. And then, when it eventually loads, we're going to our second series, which was Minnesota Rocker versus OpTic Texas, and all eyes were on Rocker going to play. And you know what? This was definitely a very, very good series to watch, and it went right down to the wire. It was a 3-2 win by OpTic. They won both hard points and the final S&D in round 11 to take the series against Minnesota Rocker, which was massive for their Champs Qualification hopes. Everyone played well in this series, I would say. I even will say that Skies played well. I know he dropped a 0.85, but his players at the end did obviously help OpTic win the series. But map 1 was a throw from the Minnesota Rocker. Map 4 again was a throw from the Minnesota Rocker. Like OpTic had two massive comebacks on the hard points. And then won the round 11. You know, they were really poor on this rewind as well. Like they had a 2v4, 5-4 to Rocker, and they choked it. But I'm going to show you the hard points here in the round 11.
Towards grass, so OpTic, green wall, you gotta build it here on this P4.
It's not been a great P4 in the map so far. This could be it now. Rocker on the fight forward. OpTic setting up for the hit. Nero cut down on the right flank. Dashy on the soak. Left flank now wide open, and it's nobody home for Rocker. They've been dealt with again.
And you're trying to find the route. Hook there to drop you. He's the perfect man for the swarming and the cutoff kills. Gets eyes on 2 out of 3, and number 3 is just going to be up top. So OpTic, they have all the reads.
Rocker a step closer. They get 2 kills down on a time. Down again. Last Menestrial. He gets the time open. Pinched out by Shotzi. 35 and 25. What a map. And a lead change. Once again, we could be looking at a win here.
And the green wall holding strong on this P4. And this might just be it to seal the old deal. You're taking rounds. It's a last-ditch effort to try to make the break, but you're just not going to be able to get it. Every single player in the feed wiped out, and Dashy and Hook, they call game.
A really nice comeback there from OpTic, because at one point it looked like this was going to be a pretty easy map win for Minnesota Rocker. Just like it was at the Major as well. I believe it was Skyline between these two teams as well in losers round 1 at the Major. Then the S&D, yeah, was won by Rocker and the Control. Now this hard point, I think the last 4 hills were like predominantly OpTic. Like they brought it back. Like Rocker were playing so well. I just want to give a massive shout out to Kenny, because he looked actually like he could play COD here, so maybe the issue wasn't fully him and Pred and OpTic, but Sometimes you just need a new roster to get back to your best, but you'll see how Kenny played in that second series that we're going to talk about as well. But let's just do this one first.
Right now, 2 comebacks like this, OpTic maybe just sealing a deal on the title.
Absolutely. Shots in on the last man. That's going to be the rotation done as well. Here we go. Massive lead change here from OpTic Texas. Hook on a spree. Keeping the members of Rocker at bay. Hardpoint now goes green once again. This could be it.
God, I mean, this is devastating. I feel like this is almost a guarantee at this point. Gio's the only man that's been able to get through, but he should get traded out. Shotzzy gets dropped, and there you go. They have everything covered. Another 4-man wipe, and this has been 150 seconds straight of perfect Call of Duty from OpTic Texas.
We have not seen a team flatline like this before. 5 seconds for a game 5. Dashi, front line. We're going all the way.
I actually want to point out here how good their map awareness from OpTic was. So obviously, I wish that wasn't in the word, but it is. But obviously, yeah, this was they obviously had Hugh that was like trying to stop the people running straight into the point, and then Dashi was there at the front. This is why OpTic ended up bringing this series back. It was really, really good players from OpTic there. They've obviously worked on that. And yeah, they obviously get it to a game 5, which then goes all the way to round 11. It was 5-4 Rocker as well, but OpTic managed to take it. Let's watch it.
Now over towards the bomb site. Hook once again looking for the plant. RC car cut down. Oh no!
RC cars will cost you.
It'll cost you big, especially in a round 11. Esri now trying to make it work, fighting forward towards the bomb site, and Hook, he repositions. They're playing for the kills.
You are buying a little bit of time for Nero to attempt to make the play, but not a ton of time, and you get the bomb down. Rocker are great when they have site control. They have not been good at breaking it. This is OpTic's round to lose.
Absolutely. All bases covered. You get one chance at this. The trades have got to be absolutely perfect. Playing off the advantages you can make. Rocker through the threshold. Both corners covered. Damage in from Gio, the first man. The pinch is down. The kills are on. 2v2. Over to Hook. Sends it forward.
Oh my God!
Texas survive.
Sky's there with a 3-piece with a pistol. Ultimately, but Shotzzy definitely caused a few issues here. I don't know why the quality. Right. Yeah, so killed. I think Sky's actually helped Dashi. Obviously helped them win there. Because if Nero wins that gunfight, I think that Rocker could have potentially took that. But yeah, Sky's with a 3-piece to see off that match. And that ultimately wins in the series. So that's why I said that Sky's had a good series, because he literally popped off when it mattered most. But yeah, OpTic definitely look better than when they did last split. But what is the ceiling with this roster? Do you know what I mean? That's what we're yet to find out. I really wish the website wasn't so slaughtered there, though. I'm not going to lie to you, chat, especially because there's a lot of Game 5s this week. Then we had FaZe versus Toronto Ultra here, which was won by Toronto Ultra 3-2. They win both hard points and the final search and destroy. I mean, Simp had a bit of a rough series here. Obviously, I'm not going to change his MVP rating because of that. But yeah, a bit of a rough one from Simp. On the other side, Joe Deceives, what a season he's having. And Beans as well, 1.01 for the pair of them. Very, very impressive. We'll show you the round 11 here in the S&D, though. If it loads, of course.
Ultra looking to improve to 4-3 on the year. You see the round 11 records at the top. Ultra have had the ice. Look at ice up here on defense. They're clearing everything here. B playing deep will be 4-3, and Kleenex playing bottom. Inside gonna be the guy deep. They're starting to group up. Here we go. Abizi wins the first. He has taken over, put 3 first blood since we called him out.
It's a car? Who killed in the car? Is it Insight?
No, Cell, though.
Car down. We're trying to find an opening. Nothing here yet, though. Cell changing focus. Is there an opening there at the doorway? Insight will drop one. Joe deceives in as well. One player remains, going to be Insight. Now down to a 1 versus 1. Cell. Insight. Cell is going to win it. And that will see.
Brilliant 1v1 there. Celium, obviously, you know, for me being the best player in the league this season. A really, really nice clutch up there. But yeah, really good series. It's the last search and destroy that was pretty couple for Toronto Ultra. Ultra definitely have played very well this season, but will they, you know, get to a grand final? Could they win something this year? Still hard to tell. Right, then we move on with Saturday's matches, and Vegas Falcons finally win a hard point, and they win 2, but they unfortunately don't win the S&D. So it's gonna be a Neslo from the Miami Heretics. But if we look at the stats here, I mean, look, super. We talked about this in the roundup extra. He had a super debut, no pun intended. I mean, he obviously had a series before against Rocker, but this one was a proper one. You know, knowing that he's a firm part of the team. Arcity's played well here. So did Pred. It was a really good effort. I mean, Exnid was popping off in the S&D, 12 and 9 for the loss. But yeah, let's watch the end of this first hard point. The Falcons actually won a hard point, guys.
It's a machine for them to get the dub, but Falcons, the curse has been, well, potentially. Hold on. Want to choke it just yet. 10 more seconds to go, but they got it, Miles. They're gonna get it, Miles. Priest is popping 4 pieces. They're winning champs. They've done it. What? It's a machine for them to get the dub, but Falcons.
You saw how happy Exnid was. He finally gets a hard point win, but he has to wait for that first series win. But definitely, they are definitely going to win a series this year, whether it's on LAN or it's online. I now do believe that Falcons will win a series, but they're running out of time because I think their next qualifiers are against OpTic and FaZe. They could potentially do a shock against OpTic, but they're not beating FaZe. And then I think they've got Boston Breaks, which would be pretty tough, and then it just depends on who they face at the major. But honestly, I do cheer the Falcons on. I do. I want them to win. So I love Exnid. I think he's class. And obviously AG as well. Yeah, the round 11 that was won by Heretics, that obviously kind of changed the landscape. But then it was a great comeback for Falcons to get to a game 5, but they just didn't have what it took. And that is 10 massive points for the Miami Heretics as well. Yeah, like really, really good from Super. But yeah, Heretics definitely, if they want to make champs, they've definitely got to work on it. Then we had Gentlemates versus the Carolina Ravens. Obviously, Gentlemates' new roster with Johnny and Fellow in. And it was a 3-1 win. It was a very close first couple of maps, but it was won by the Ravens, and then the control was dominant from LAG. But then the 4th map went Ravens' way, and they do take the win here. Gentlemen, again, lose. You know, they're running out of time. They had to win this type of series. Johnny had a really good debut, though, on this team, dropping a 1.21. He was the best player in the series, but obviously MVP goes to the team that wins. And that was given to Slasher. I mean, Slasher or Gwyn deserved it, really. Vivid did all right as well, obviously. TJ had a bit of a rough one, but I'm sure that the team's not too bothered about that. They did get the win here. And I mean, look, it's very unlikely that Ravens don't make champs unless they literally lose every single game from now on. But, I mean, Gwyn went triple negative in the control. Obviously, you know, the casters have been calling him Gwynternet as well now, like, because he's a lot better online than LAN. But yeah, it was a good series from the Ravens. Gentlemates, I don't know what to say about them. I don't even know who they've got this week, but I'm assuming they've got... Well, they must have 2 matches because there's only 3 weeks of qualifiers now. And that's the thing, I don't know how many more roundups we'll actually have this year, but I was hoping to get to the 50th episode. I honestly, if Champs could have been episode 50, that would have been amazing, but I don't think that's going to happen. It could actually happen. No, I tell you what, chat. I think Champs could be the 50th special. Now, if it is, that might be a bit of a different 50th special than I planned. If Champs was the 50th, but honestly, we'll just see what happens. I'm not doing like 2 uploads a week to make that happen or anything. Right, let's look at OpTic's second series, and they absolutely destroyed Cloud9. A very good series from everyone on the OpTic team. Hugh got MVP. Obviously, we'll do our MVP of the week, but every single player here played really well. Dashy, damage machine as always. I expected a bit more here from Sib. Sib, arguably, is probably my favourite pro that isn't on OpTic at the moment. 0.69, very rough series from him. OpTic, though, played really well. Hugh and Shotzi definitely is working a lot more on this game than Pred and Shotzi did. And yeah, I can't see them changing for the rest of the year now. Yeah, I think I was impressed with Skies as well. I know he's got a 1.06, but I was actually quite impressed with how Skies played on the first map, a 1.57. But yeah, really good series here from OpTic. It's looking good. It's looking like winners bracket will probably happen as well. Especially if they beat the Vegas Falcons. It looks like winners bracket will be on for OpTic, which is good because obviously they're in losers bracket Major 2 at their own event. You know, they only got to play 2 games and then they were out. But I do think that OpTic have a bit to work on. We need to see how they play against a top team. We saw they played against Ultra, but obviously you've got to remember that was Pred instead of Hugh. But yeah, they definitely look better than they did last split, but that's not hard to replicate really. Now, the last game of Saturday, we had the drama. So also, I need to mention that Toronto Ultra had a lot of issues against FaZe as well. It took ages to complete the series. But Boston breached 3-0 Toronto Ultra. Now, you're going to look at the stats and go, Insight got 19 kills in a 3-map series. Map 3 was forfeited. Now, this is going to probably be the main talking point of the entire video. The entire episode is going to be talking about this. First of all, well done to Boston. Very good series from them. Everyone played well on the side. But we have to obviously talk about this because the drama that has unfolded. So, it took map 1 played out, and then map 2 it took ages to play out, and like it took a long time to it took a long time for it to play out, and then shame that this is I think it must be my internet that's terrible today, you know, chat. Sorry, I've got to skip through all this. You'll get my stuff from this anyway soon. But yeah, so basically, you know it's GG's for delays when they bust this clip out on the broadcast, and it was obviously when Methods retired during the Boston Major in MW2. Draza then tweets, "This is what I'm going to use exit lag," and Bane says, "Holy fuck, you may be the chimp with the book, no BS." And yeah, it's basically all kicking off, and then Ultra decide to forfeit the game. So Boston with the maps, obviously, because they forfeited the map, Boston obviously were already 2 up, so they win 3-0. So Joe tweets this after all the bullshit we've and other teams have been through with online servers, where I'm not doing that shit again with how bad we are rubber banding. GG's Boston play LA Thieves next week. We brought it up to the league time and time again, and nothing ever changes. If anything, the responses get worse. This is hilarious. Had my own coach recording my POV from behind me, and they still don't believe us. Fucking hilarious. They have integrity cams behind us to see all our POVs, and they don't do anything with it. Just a useless camera behind us for fun. Now, first of all, he's probably going to get fined for this, but I quite like that Joe's called this out, because obviously there was the drama with Cloud9 when they first, I think it was when they first OpTic, you know, about the servers, that they were on the wrong server and stuff like that. And yeah, this is obviously an issue because Toronto Ultra are a very good team, and if they're playing, they're ultimately at a massive disadvantage if this is happening, which obviously I believe it is happening. I wouldn't say that they're lying about it or anything. But I'm just going to bring up this clip from the flank because Joe Deceives goes on the flank and talks about it, and obviously, you know, him speaking it is better than what I would say. So I'm just going to play this. It is a few minutes long. So yeah.
Because it sounds like the procedure has changed over the course of season to season, but was there like a memo or an email saying this is a new policy, or they just
No, the issue
winging
is
it?
there's no consistent ruling. That's the issue. Every single time it changes. Every single time. When every issue this year has changed, there has been literally like I guess like a Google Doc of like issues that all teams have had sent to them, and they say nothing. They don't give us any good like responses. And this wasn't
So
made
is
from us.
that the
This was made
reason
from
for the
other
forfeit,
teams.
essentially?
Yes, that's why we ended up forfeiting
Okay.
because of how bad like we were, and it wasn't like we were getting high ping because we would have played it. Yesterday we were playing phase when we did when I was telling you guys we went up 2-0. We said all right, we'll play on high ping. Fuck it, right? Because we don't give a fuck. I'm not lagging. I'm fine. So we put it out, blah blah blah. Then they reset the server, and then today we are literally rubber banding. You can see at the start of the round, like the control on map 3. I kill Purge and Vault, and you can literally see my game stuttering over and over and over and over. And we said that to the league, and they give us nothing. And we've had observers, by the way. Our friend said at the start to like pretty much we've had observers literally tell us, yeah, we saw you lagging, we were trying to stand for you guys, but like they didn't do anything about it. The observers were telling us we were lagging. The observers, the
Where's
CDL
the
observers.
league?
You
say
said
in
you had somebody
response?
behind you, right, Joe?
Yes,
too,
yes.
just
I also had
recording?
my coach behind me recording our POV. They did
Yeah.
nothing about that. We had observers watching. They didn't give a fuck.
Right.
Like we literally have people in the CDL and behind me watching, and they're doing nothing about it.
What was their response to all of like the evidence or proof that you
They
guys
said
had?
that we have no proof. That's what they said. When we sent them all this, and we had, like I said, we literally had people watching, the CDL observers telling them they are lagging.
Hold on, they're not going to say you have no proof. Like
No, they
there
did.
should be more.
When we
like-
asked for a server change, they said we had no like proof.
So when you send them the clips of the rubber banding, what do they say specifically about those clips?
I might be able to pull the Discord.
Yeah, because the wording is important here. Because I know you're paraphrasing, but I want to, at least for the record,
I can pull the Discord
understand what the
because
comms
I
are.
kind of just stopped paying attention.
The record. We're not in a legal case right now.
Joe started seeing
Well,
fucking
no,
red.
I'm trying. No, because the whole
No,
point
it's
of
a good
conversation is
question,
try to help
Chad.
them
That is
out.
a fair-
it is a fair-
bro,
It's a good
like,
question.
I'm
No,
not-
it is. No,
I'm
it is
trying
a fair
to-
question. I can try to find it. I'm not
Yeah.
too sure because obviously I wasn't the one in Discord. It was like other
That's fine.
teammates and whatever. So let me try to find it for you. But I can see this.
Because Chad, what I'm trying to do, because it sounds like the issue, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, is that it's just inconsistent league policy and admin decisions when these internet situations are arising in an effort to make this online league somewhat competitive on that front. And what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that, and I assume you agree, the inconsistent policy communication is like the biggest issue and why you guys kind of fucking like finally had a final straw today and decided to forfeit.
Yeah. That's
I got a
pretty much-
DM. I got a DM from a coach, by the way. Well, I will not say his name, but basically, this coach had 3 days a week where their assistant coach was not here, and they had to talk to teams about servers for scrims, and everyone got servers they don't want to play because they're unplayable.
Yep.
LMAO.
Yep, that's what happened all this year again. We've tried telling them to switch servers, the servers that we literally scrim on, whether we use Egg-Lag or not. We've never had issues, and they still don't listen to us.
So are there
Let
any
me-
specific servers like you guys can't play on? Just pure like.
Yeah. So the Virginia server, and it's not just us. I talked to people on FaZe. I talked to people in Boston, that they have literally said that yesterday, for example, Boston were spiking to 200 ping on that server, and so were FaZe. FaZe literally, someone on FaZe told me that they are spiking on that server as well. So it's just a shit server in general, not even just for us. It's a shit server in general. I don't know why we're playing it because, like I said, we scrimmed Boston on New York. Well, we're on 13 ping and they're on 8, and we said we are down for that, and they just don't listen to us. I don't understand why. I don't really know, but.
Are there any other servers you guys have problems connecting to? that have-
Atlanta as well, same thing. Our ping spike. Chicago, which is why we used Exit like yesterday versus FaZe. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if the league has their own like server, because when we did it in the warm-up lobby, it's fine. Or not the warm-up, sorry. When we scrim on it, it's fine. But then we go to like do like a warm-up lobby and like the actual match, and we're on 21 ping when usually we're on 15. So I don't know if that's like, I don't know what's going on there, but that was weird.
I think they have multiple. When I've seen like.
Yeah, it could have been that, like a different type of like Chicago server.
I've seen what
maybe.
the UI looks like when you switch servers, and it seems like there are at least 3 different categories of servers, and some of them overlap in the same locale. But I assume it's just different providers, different cloud hosting services.
Yeah,
or
so even JP
across all
said, which
those.
is what we said. I swear the match servers are different than scrim servers, because I'm pretty sure he's right, because it is never, our pingers are never the exact same. On
There's
both.
So yeah, the whole situation's like, it's kind of crazy that this is happening in a professional esports league. You know, this is just online COD is just not the same as LAN, because you know you have to find the right server to play on, and people are lagging and stuff like that. Now, obviously, like this comment is ridiculous. Obviously, the league are not rigging any matches. with the ping spiking, but they've got to sort this out for next year. Like, look, I'm not someone that knows about how servers work. Like, I use technology all the time, but I'm not like a geek with technology, if that makes sense. But the whole situation regarding this, like the fact that Toronto Ultra players haven't used this exit lag thing just so that they're not, just so they're not lagging in these matches is obviously the player at a disadvantage anyway. So yeah, look, I don't know what they'll do. I don't think anything will happen. I think it'll just go back to what it is. But the observers, the referees, or whoever is dealing with all this stuff from the league side really need to sort this out fast because you can't be having teams forfeiting. On a more positive note, though, that is Cammy's second forfeit map win in like 3 years. Because obviously, if you know the Minnesota Rocket SAE, the SAE incident on LSE Law, I think the map was called on MW2. I think it was LSE Law. Obviously, they won the control against OpTic because they called in a kill streak and they didn't want to replay the map, so OpTic forfeited it. But yeah, so that whole situation's pretty crazy, to be honest. And then Karma was saying, obviously OpTic's coach Karma, he was saying around about the same thing with like the issues with the league, the scrim servers, and the scrim servers are all wrong and stuff like that. This needs to be sorted out. It's a professional league. You know, there's millions of dollars that go into it. It's not like it's just done with 5 friends. Anyway, then we start on Sunday's matches, and it's Boston Breach again. This time they do lose, and they get a 3-2 loss handed to them by the Minnesota Rocker, who do win a round 11 on the S&D. And look at Kenny. MVP. His best KD of the entire season, it's Kenny. He's starting to show up. Maybe OpTic, maybe he was not the full problem on OpTic, but it was a good series here. I thought Cammy played really well as well. He was probably the best player on that Boston Breach team. He had a pretty good weekend, Cammy. Obviously, I know they ended up losing a series around 11, but yeah, Gio as well had a really good weekend. But we're going to show you this round 11 here that Rocker won.
Safely in the backside of the site, but that gets discovered, and it looks like Kenny's just going to clear it. Yep, and then they can play for the plan again.
Instantly going to put the bomb down, but this time, look at you have Kenny working on the deep bench. The contest is already going to be here, but the first blood goes in favor of Gio.
Yeah, Striel hops off from the plant to just make sure he's got his gun up. It's a different stroke here for the defense of Boston, trying to play quickly, trying to play for the contest, catch Minnesota off guard, but now you've got to find a way to retake this 3v4, and this is all coming through middle. Kenny, opening shots are decent. Snoopy still waiting for a time to go. You've got Awakening who's going to be playing off. Got one. He finds the first. Kenny's backed off this angle. He's got help from Gio, though. First 2 kills are decent. Awakening last one. Left is shut down, and Minnesota.
Brilliant play from Gio there, and just in general, Rocker. That was a really nice play. Also, I want to say Rewind and Dealership being back in the pool, but Rewind being back in the pool and Dealership in the pool for the S&D is brilliant. Really, really good maps to have, especially Dealership. I'm a big fan of Dealership. I mean, I haven't played Ranked for months, but when it was tested originally in Ranked, I did play it a bit, and it was good. Really good map. But yeah, that win was massive for obviously the Champs race, because Rocker were on 90 points before this match, and now they're on 100. But obviously, after we've done our predictions, I'll show you the CDL Standings as well. And then obviously, we'll go on from that. Obviously, it's been a bit of a longer episode in terms of it's taken a while to deal with the website. It's a bit slow. I think it's my internet as well, though. Right, then we had FaZe versus Carolina Royal Ravens, and apart from the first map, which was won by the Ravens, actually no, the other hard point was close as well, actually, but the S&D and control were impeccable from FaZe. FaZe did take this one 3-1. If we look at the stats, Simp did actually have a bit of a rough weekend. It's very rare that Simp would play 2 matches in a weekend and go negative in both. Draza got MVP, and he got 17 and 31. He had 6 kills after most of the first map. But yeah, he brought it back really well. Draza 37 and 25. and 20 and 12s. Yeah, really good series out of FaZe here. And obviously they'd be disappointed about the Ultra result, but 3-1 here, very, very good and convincing. Obviously, Ravens have beaten FaZe online this season, so they would have been hoping to do it again, but they were unable to. And then our final match of the weekend. I was expecting this to be a close series, but it was the complete opposite. LA Thieves absolutely destroy the Vancouver Surge. 3-0 here, very convincing win here for Thieves. Ghosty had a bit of a rough one, but they won the match. You know, it's a team effort, so it's not the end of the world. Envoy Scrap played really well here. On the other side, Neptune, the only player that didn't go negative, but no one played well really on this Surge side. And yeah, well done to the Thieves. Obviously 1-0. That was their only match this weekend, but they still performed very well. Right, here we go then. The matches this weekend, we have got 3, 6, 10. 10 matches this weekend. We start with Miami Heretics versus OpTic Texas. Going to be an interesting one, but I'm going to go with 3-1 to OpTic Texas. I think OpTic will have enough for Miami. Again, another crucial match in that Champs race. Obviously, OpTic want to try and not be in a Champs race come Major 4. They want to be comfortably in that top 6, but let's see what happens. I'm going to go 3-1 OpTic, and then we have Vancouver Surge versus Gentlemates. I'm going to go 3-1 to Vancouver Surge. I think they'll bounce back after that rough defeat to LA Thieves. And then the final match on that Friday is Carolina Royal Ravens versus Minnesota Rocker. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Rocker to win this 3-1. I'd say that's a bit of a shock, to be honest, but Rocker have looked really good with Kenny in the roster. And Kenny's interview after the series against Boston was pretty good. You know, he said he'd literally never spoke to his teammates before this, you know, until he joined the team, but he's trying to do team bonding. He's saying he gets on well with them because obviously Estrel and Gio were rookies last year. Nero's been in the league for a couple of years, but Kenny's obviously always been on the top team. Kenny said he's never really been on like a team like this before in terms of, you know, him being like the unk of the team, let's say. Obviously he's got so much experience compared to the other guys, but yeah, I think Rocker look alright at the moment, and I think this Champs race is going to get interesting, like really interesting. Then we have FaZe versus Miami. I'm going to go with 3-0 to FaZe here. Falcons versus OpTic, obviously Pred versus OpTic. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to go 3-0 OpTic, actually. I was tempted to go maybe 3-1, but I'm going to go 3-0 OpTic. Boston Breach versus Gentlemates is going to go to a Game 5. I'm going to go 3-2 to Boston Breach, though. I think they will take it, which would be a massive win for them. And then we have Cloud9 versus LA Thieves to finish off the Saturday. I'm going to go with LA Thieves 3-1 here. And then we have another huge match for that Champs Qualification. Minnesota Rocker versus Cloud9 New York. I'm going to go with Cloud9 New York to win this 3-1. And then we have Surge versus Ravens, which will be a banger. And I'm going to go 3-1 to Vancouver Surge. And the final match of the weekend is LA Thieves versus Toronto Ultra. And I'm going to go 3-2 to Toronto Ultra. I'm gonna go with an Ultra win. Now, they obviously beat FaZe. They obviously were losing 2-0 to Boston, but had issues and then forfeit the last map. I'm gonna go with a Toronto Ultra win though to see the weekend out. And then I'm just checking, these obviously are the last qualifiers. Obviously there's a FaZe OpTic in there. FaZe OpTic is OpTic's last qualifier. If OpTic win though, if OpTic beat Falcons in Miami this weekend, that would obviously be 40 CDL points from those matches. That would put them in a great place because this is the current state of affair of the standings going into the next week of COD. FaZe are fine, Thieves are fine, Toronto Ultra are fine, Ravens are fine, Surge are fine. They've all made champs in my opinion now. There's only obviously, you know, there's not as many online qualifiers in these splits. It's not like I can't see any of them not winning a series for the rest of the year. I think they're all fine. OpTic obviously had, like I said, if OpTic beat Miami and Falcons, that would put them on 150 points. I think OpTic just need to get to 200 and they'll be fine. I think they will make champs. But obviously Breach, Miami, Rocker, Cloud9, 2 of them teams will also potentially join OpTic. I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to be so close. It's a really exciting race for champs, this. Because obviously there was a decent one last year with Ravens and Vegas Legion, and it ended up not being any of them that made it because LAG made top 3 and they got that place instead. Yeah, my prediction at the moment though is that it will be OpTic, Boston, and Cloud9, but let's just see what happens. Cloud9 do need to get a move on, to be honest. There's definitely a possibility they don't make champs. Definitely possible. And then, yeah, the other thing that we're going to talk about quickly is this. I'm gutted. Already G2 lost Niko. I've not been watching much CS recently, but G2 lost Niko, and now they're going to lose Monesy. He's going to the Falcons. Yep. They're back together. The GOAT duo. Well, not the GOAT duo, but the G2 GOAT duo. G2 in shambles now. I don't even know who they're going to... I think I looked that they were going to try and get Hades on a loan. It's just not the same as an AWPer. Monesy's one of the best AWPers in the game. Yeah, obviously I'm still going to be rooting for G2, but obviously I'll be happy if Monesy wins that major with Niko. Definitely would be buzzing for them, as long as it's not against G2 in the final. But I can't see G2 getting into a final at this moment in time. I mean, M80 have literally said there, so nice of G2 to join us in Tier 3. Good move. Obviously, that is a good move for Monesy, but that means obviously Dexter will be going. Because obviously Dexter was the AWPer on that Falcons team. He wasn't even doing that bad. Obviously, Falcons have won an event as well. Which I don't think they'd won an event until Niko came in. That just shows his impact. Right, MVP time. MVP time. Now, MVP of the week. A bit tough. Now, obviously, I had done my thumbnail. Normally I would do the team, if a team goes 2-0, I would normally go for them on the thumbnail, but obviously I did an OpTic one on episode 36 with Dashi, so I didn't really want to just go for another OpTic one, but I was obviously tempted to go for maybe a Skies or a Shopsy one. But if they go 2-0 this week, maybe we can do it then. But I didn't really think it was like that important. MVP of the week though will be going to an OpTic player. Also, I wanted to do the thumbnail like this because obviously the Boston Breach Ultra Drama, and also Cammy did have a really good weekend. So the MVP will go to... It'll go to Huke, I think. I'll go Huke for MVP. Really close. It could have been Huke or Shopsy, but I'm going to go with Huke. So then we have got our MVP ladder. Now, I'm going to say this. No changes to the MVP ladder at all. No changes. No changes in the top 10 either. It's going to just remain the same this week. I've made sure that I had the right time for the week. So obviously I've put week 13 because I think that's right. Because I'm not including any breaks. Obviously the battle for third between Draza, Scrap and Neptune is definitely there, and obviously Abeezy and Joe Deceives just behind, and Hydra as well. Yeah, Simp I think will obviously had a bit of a rough week, but I can't see Celium and Simp. They might change positions. That's it. I can't see these two not being the top 2. Obviously, you know, Dashi was the MVP when I started the MVP ladder. Dashi was number 1, and now he's not in the top 10, but. If OpTic were to win a major or have a really good run at Major 3 or Major 4, yeah, they could get back in there, but they've obviously had such a bad Major 2 and they've obviously only got top 8s at LAN this season, so I have to be realistic. But yeah, Celium obviously is been number 1 for a while. I can't see that changing, to be honest. Obviously, you know, if Thieves, I mean, like, Draza as well, I think has been really good this year. So I'm not just putting him there because FaZe have won both majors, but that has obviously had an impact because he was part of the team. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the MVP ladder. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this episode of the Roundup. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Obviously, it's been a bit of a long-winded one because it's took ages to deal with It took ages to deal with some of the clips I had to show. The drama, though, between the Toronto Ultra Boston Breach series was definitely the talking point of the week. Who have you got winning next week? Remember, 40th episode next week. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. If you've got any community questions, let me know. I've got a couple already that I can talk about next week. Alright, thanks very much for watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.